So this is the untapped influencer marketing strategy that enabled us to achieve $14,000 within 24 hours of a brand new store, only spending $300 on influencer marketing. Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Camille, known as the ECOM King, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys and showcasing the exact influencer untapped strategy that we're using to achieve some insane results. Now, if you're familiar with influencer marketing, then you would know that most people use either Instagram or they either use TikTok for influencer marketing, and those two platforms are getting very saturated now and very expensive. Now, we use Twitter as a platform, and I know a lot of you are going to think, Twitter, how would you use that for influencers? But yes, we do use Twitter for influencers. It's completely untapped in the dropshipping industry. I don't know many people that use it, and the influencers on there are extremely cheap as well. And that's what enabled us to achieve $14,000 within 24 hours using cheap influencers that only cost us $300. Now, if you guys want to see that video, I'll leave it here in the card so you can watch the case study. But in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you the exact A to Z blueprint. I've even designed and created a free Google Doc sheet with all the copy and paste scripts that you reach out to these influencers with, how to find the best products, how to schedule certain posts, how to create your posts. I've done all the hard work for you in a free Google Doc sheet to help you through this process and make it as easy as possible. For you guys to obtain that free Google Doc sheet, we need to hit 2,000 likes on this video. Then I will leave it in the pinned comment and in the description. Now, if we hit 5,000 likes on this video, I will leave all the Twitter influencers that we've used between myself and my business partners in that Google Doc sheet, so you can use the ones that we've actually used ourselves as well. Now, make sure you also follow me on Instagram, because that's where I post all the behind the scenes, and that's just really where I showcase what I'm doing in between videos. So if you want to catch up with me, make sure you follow my Instagram. Also, if you want to get the latest news on what I'm doing as a channel, make sure you join the Telegram group. It's completely free. I'll also leave that in the description. So guys, as you guys can see my computer screen, and when you can see my computer screen the way it is, then you definitely know there's gonna be some serious value dropped. Now, to start with, let's go over the budget that's required for this strategy. Now, because this is an influencer strategy, it's a lot cheaper than Facebook ads, and it is designed for people that don't have the budget to use Facebook ads, to be able to use an alternative, to build cash flow, to build data, to then take onto Facebook. So the budget that you're gonna need is between $150 and $500. Now, you can do it with even less money than that, but I don't recommend it. And if you've got money, obviously it's gonna be even better. Now, the best niches for Twitter influence. Now, because Twitter is a very different platform considering Instagram and TikTok, it's so much different to those two platforms. It's very much a gossipy platform. It's a way for people to really get their opinions out there very strong. It's not really got to do anything with like photos, just words and stuff like that. So it is a very much different platform, and I do recommend that when you're watching this, go do your own research on the platform and understand how the mechanics work in terms of what makes it different. I'm not going to go over it because that could take me ages. But the best niches for this industry, and the ones that have done the best for us personally, is relationship slash couple industry. So things like buying things for your loved ones, things like jewelry, things like roses, those kind of things do really, really well. Hoodies, so if do you know those clothing where it's like hers and his, that kind of stuff does really, really well. Then fashion accessories do very, very well on this, especially for women. Then viral products like fidget spinners and stuff like that. All the self-stirring mug, which I did a case study on, or a challenge video on even, which I'll link here. Those kind of products do very, very well. Now, don't worry, I'm going to be showing you how to find products now. Now, the best way to find the products that will best suit Twitter is by actually going over to TikTok and searching for these phrases: viral products, Amazon, relationship gifts. And I'm actually going to go on my phone now and show you guys exactly how that works. So this is how you're going to be able to find really good products for Twitter influencers. You're going to want to head over to the TikTok app on your smartphone, and you're going to want to go to the search bar, and you're going to want to search for things like relationship gifts, and then you want to change it to videos, and then you're going to be able to see loads of different videos of TikTok people basically promoting loads of different products that they recommend for relationship gifts. Now, some of them will be big brands and you won't be able to get them, but some of them will be AliExpress products or Chinese supplier products. And then once you find a product that you can see on here that you like, or you can see a product that you think could be good, so you can see this one right here, which has got 62,000 likes, 397 comments. That product right there is on AliExpress, or something very similar to it is on AliExpress. You don't have to find the exact same product. You can find something very, very similar, but you're just looking for things on TikTok that have done really, really well, and then see if you can try and find it on AliExpress. Now, let's say, for example, I find something called viral products, and then I go to videos again. They're going to show you products that have gone very, very viral. And again, these can do really, really good. And again, you're just going to be going through this, and you can see here, no more dust. This one got 14,000 likes, 33 comments. And again, that product is on AliExpress. So you can see what I might want to do is I might want to search for it, find it, and then go from there. But that's pretty much how you're going to be finding really, really good products for your Twitter influencer marketing strategy. So now let's talk about how to actually find Twitter influencers on the Twitter platform. Now, you want to go over to the search bar, and don't worry, I'm going to be showing you how to do this in a minute. And you want to search for phrases like couples, then change it to people. You want to search for things like fashion, love, and viral, and make sure you change those to actual people. Then these are the Twitter influencer metric breakdown, meaning this is what you want to have from an influencer before approaching them. So you want them to have at least 5,000 followers. Now, do bear in mind with Twitter influencers, the followers doesn't really actually matter. I've known Twitter influencers with only 1,000 followers that have gone viral, but a good rule to follow is at least 5,000. Then you need to make sure they've got at least 3 viral tweets in the last 6 months. Now, a viral tweet is a tweet that gets 5,000 retweets and 10,000 likes. Now, a retweet is like a share. If you're very familiar with Facebook, it's basically a retweet is just a share. It's where somebody shares what you've written on their platform, basically. Then they need to be at least posting once a day. Now, Twitter is a platform where you can get away with tweeting like 3, 6, 8 times a day. So they need to be posting at least tweeting at least once a day for them to be active on the platform. So as you guys can see, I'm on the Twitter platform, and the first thing that you want to do is you want to head over to the search bar, and you can do this on either mobile devices or computing devices. And you want to search for things like couples as an example. Then you want to change it to people, and then you can see loads of different accounts coming up for the keyword couples. Now, the first one that's come up is couple goals, and if we click on that, you can see they've got 155,000 followers. Now, do bear in mind, don't let the follower number get to your head, because you might think they're a big account and they're so successful, but they can just buy followers. So do some more research like I'm doing now. So you can see the following. Now, the following is actually quite important, and you can see they're following 0 people. Now, the reason why it matters on who they're following could be that other people they follow are other big influencers, because with these Twitter influencers, what they tend to do is they have what we call engagement groups, where these big Twitter influencers will be friends with another big Twitter page, and they'll all help post and reshare their content to help them get on the algorithm. So this is another great way to find other really good influencers, by looking at their followers and seeing if there's other ones that are similar to them that are just as big. So that's a great way to find alternative Twitter influencers. Now, something else that they've done is they have actually shared their location. Now, what you can do with Twitter is actually tell them what country you're living in, and these lot are saying that they're actually based in the USA. Now, why that might be important is because you want your potential audience to be from a top 5 country, because they have more purchasing power overall, which means you're going to get better conversion rates. So if you can see their locations from the US, that's just an extra good sign. Now, they can completely make that up as well. There's no way of Twitter knowing if they're really from the US. It's just what you're telling Twitter. So do bear in mind, take it with a pinch of salt. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to scroll down, and you'll see their pinned tweet. The same way you can pin something on your timeline, it just basically means it's the first thing you're going to see on their profile. And you can see this was from the 6th of Feb, so it was very recent. It was about a month and a couple of days ago. And you can see this Twitter tweet got physical intimacy, and it got 22,000 likes and 6,000 retweets. So we would class that as a viral tweet. So as I was saying to you before, you want to make sure they got at least 3 viral tweets in the last 6 months. Then if we scroll down here, you can see another tweet here, skin on skin, and you can see it's currently doing really, really well. And I can see within the next couple of months that actually going viral as well. And then you want to keep going down, and you want to look at their biggest tweets. Now, do bear in mind that you can see here, these lot are just retweeting other people's posts. And again, looking at what they're retweeting can help you find other great pages as well. But we're going to ignore that for now. We're just going to keep scrolling down. Now, what you want to do is, if you can't find other posts from them, just go to where it says tweets and replies. And then when you go from tweets and replies, it'll just show you what their tweets and replies are. That way you can go through their content a lot easier and a lot quicker to see if they've got any other posts that you can look at that are viral. So then you got this one here from the 13th of March, which wasn't too long ago. It was a couple of days ago, and it's already got 1,000 retweets and 6,000 likes. So you can kind of gauge based on those numbers on those amount of days how much more it could potentially be. So from what I've seen here, there's a lot of good engagement. This was from the 12th of March. and you guys can see it's doing pretty well. So you just want to make sure that you're going through their stuff, and you want to make sure that they are hitting those decent numbers. Now, if you can't find 3 posts that have gone viral, just look at some of the posts that they're doing recently and try and work out if you think within 3 months that could potentially go viral. And you can work it out based on how many numbers they've got in a certain amount of time, and you can basically just times it by how many days they've got left within that 3-month period. So that was the first one out of the way. So if I go back to the search phrase and go back to couples, you can see if I scroll down, you've got something called black couples. This tweet here, which was done the 7th of Jan, which is sis stole the whole picture, and you can see this tweet got 64,000 likes and 6,000 retweets, and I would consider that a viral tweet. So you'd keep scrolling down and seeing what else these guys post, and you can see here they're retweeting other pages. Now there's another page called Black Love, so I might want to click on that one, and as you guys can see, there's another Twitter page that are doing really well again. So they've got 23,000 likes, 3.2 thousand retweets. So again, that was just me having a look at another Twitter page from what they've basically retweeted to see if that would be another good one. So you guys can see here, this Twitter page as well is very successful. So what I could potentially do is I could write these guys down as a potential influencer, and as I was saying before, they actually are retweeting other people that are very successful as well, and I could also jot those down as potential influencers. And the reason why you want to jot down, even if they haven't got viral tweets, or even if they're not as big as some of these other pages, you still want to write them down. So talking about the strategy, this is the strategy of how the influencer model is going to work. So you're going to need one big influencer. So if I go back over to Twitter again, I'm going to show you an example of this. So for example, I could use this black couples as the big influencer. Now if we go back to the Google Doc sheet, then I've put here, you need 2 smaller influencers to retweet the main influencer's post. So if this doesn't make sense, you basically get the big influencer, which will be the black couples one. I would get them to post my advert, then I'd get 2 other small influencers to repost it. Then that way it's going to get engagement, it's going to get onto the explore feed, and then it can potentially go viral. So that strategy that I'm talking about there is what's been proven to work for myself and my business partners. So the 2 other small influencers that I could get, if I scroll down here, you can see that I found this page here called Black Love. They're a smaller page, but they still get really good shares, and they also get really good likes as well. So that could be a potential. If I go back and scroll through again and see if there's anything else, so you can see here there's an aesthetic page. They've also got a lot less than the main one. They've only got 13,000 followers, yet they still get an insane amount of engagement. Look at that, 17.8 thousand retweets and 120,000 likes. So that could be another small influencer, but it's really powerful. So this is the main Twitter influencer outreach template, because remember, you got the main Twitter influencers and then you got the smaller side Twitter influencers to make the strategy. So this is the one that you're going to be sending to the main influencer. Hi, I want to run a promo with you. Can you please let me know what your rate is for a quoted tweet? Basically meaning they quote to you in the tweet. Then you're also going to put, and if I have a tweet, the tweet yourself, meaning that they're going to tweet what you're asking them to write on their page. So they're going to basically, so if you tell them to write your ad copy and your picture or video, they're going to post that on their Twitter and quote you in it. So I hope that makes sense. And again, when I go throughout the strategy with you, it will all make sense as well, because I'm going to also show you an example of this as well. So if we scroll down, you can see this is the one that you're going to spend to the smaller Twitter influencer. Hi, I want to run a retweet promo with you. Can you please let me know what your rate is for a permanent retweet? So RT stands for retweet, and it's just you saying, look, how much is it going to cost me to get a permanent retweet from you? Now, some Twitter influencers don't do permanent retweets. They might say, look, I can do a retweet for you, but it might only be for 4 hours. Or if they do that, if the retweet is successful, then they end up leaving it on there anyway. But if the retweet isn't successful, they end up deleting it after a couple of hours. But they will tell you roughly how many hours they'll give you. Sometimes it'll only be 24, sometimes it'll be 48, and sometimes they'll give you a permanent one. But again, if they only give you a 24-hour retweet, it's still good. I would still recommend it, but it would have to be a lot cheaper than the full overview of a retweet. But again, like I said, if the 24-hour retweet is successful, they won't delete it because it's in their best interest not to. And again, same with the main Twitter influencer. If they post what you want them to write about your product or your image or whatnot, then they will again say to you they might only do it for 24 hours. But again, if they only accept 24 hours, then the price will reflect that, and I'll be talking about that in a bit. So that's how that works. If you don't get a reply after 4 hours from these influencers, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tweet them, and you're going to want to say, hey, looking to do a paid collaborations, check your DM. So after 4 hours, you tweet that to them, and normally normally you'll get a response. Now, if you don't hear a response after 24 hours after doing that, do it again. If you don't hear back, then just leave them. They're probably not interested. So this is the price structure for you to work with Twitter influencers. Now, for a quoted tweet, which is the main Twitter influencer strategy where they post your video or your photo and your ad copy, they're the main person. They're going to charge you between $50 and $150. Now, again, that price range is so big because if they're only willing to do a 24-hour one, then I'm looking to go and lowball because they're only willing to give you 24 hours. But if they're willing to do a permanent, then you're looking to pay within that $100 range, especially if they're a big influencer. So do bear in mind, this price really just depends on how viral their tweets have gone and how long they're willing to keep the tweet up. Now, for a permanent retweet or a retweet, it's going to be around about $10 to $50. And again, the price just depends on, is it going to be a 2-hour retweet? Is it going to be a 24-hour retweet? How good are they as a side influencer, as a smaller influencer to pump the big influencer? It really just depends on that. Now, does the price mean that one's going to be better than the other? Now, there's been times where I've reached out to influencers and one's bigger than the other, yet the one that's bigger's charging me less than the one that's smaller. So don't let the price confuse you on value. Remember, the value is based on how many tweets they've got, how many retweets they've got, and let that dictate the price. Don't let their ego dictate the price to you. Just purely say, based on what they are, this is what they're basically worth. And don't be shy to negotiate a price and say, well, look, this influencer's quoted me this, they're bigger than you. Well, don't you think the price should be a little bit lower? Don't be shy to do that. Now, talking about payments, only pay these influencers through PayPal, goods and services. Now, an objection that you're going to get when you say this to them, a lot of them want to get paid through the Cash App, which isn't because they want to scam you. Not a lot of them, but a few of them will want to do that because they want to scam you. But the reason why they want you to pay for the Cash App is because it's actually cheaper based on transaction fees, so they earn more money. But just say to them when you say, well, look, I want to pay through PayPal goods and services because I'm protected. The reason why I want to do that is because I'm protected. Not just that, but say to them, if they object it and say, well, look, I don't want to do it because I only want to be paid through Cash App, then say to them, well, look, I'm happy to pay the extra percent it's going to cost me because of the fees, because they will get like a 2.4% fee. So let's say you pay them $50, they might lose $5 worst case. So just say, well, look, I'm willing to pay that extra $5 if that's what makes the difference, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're covered by paying through PayPal. Now, if after you've said, look, I'm willing to pay that extra amount just so I'm covering the fees, still after that, if they're still saying, well, look, no, I don't want to do it, then you do want to walk away and say, look, I'm not looking to work with you, because even after you're willing to spend more because of the fee, yet they still wouldn't want to do it, that is suspicious. Now, there are some people out there that just want to be paid for the Cash App because it's easier. But just do bear in mind, try and stay with PayPal when you can, because it's a lot safer. If they are a really, really big page, take it at your own risk. But me personally, I only ever do through PayPal unless I've heard somebody tell me that they've worked with an influencer and it's been fine before. So do take that at your own risk. So let's talk about the best content that actually works on the Twitter influencers, because it's all about how you basically portray yourself when you're working with these influencers on how they promote you as a company, because the way these influencers work, it's so different to how other influencers work. So in terms of what you're going to get them to write, not the visual, but the writing, the ad copy, if you guys are used to Facebook, is keep it friendly, not spammy. Don't make it look like it's a paid promotion. Make it look like what they normally tweet about. So if we go back to Twitter, you can see here, look how big they are now. So you can see that you wouldn't think it's a promotion, although you could get away with that being a promotion. Now, with Twitter influencers, if they will promote your stuff, they will do this. So let's pretend that this page here is promoting what these kids are wearing in this photo here. Let me zoom in. So let's say they're trying to promote that outfit. Now, what they'll do is they'll actually put the link to that in the top of the pinned tweet. So here is like the comment section. Now, in the pinned tweet is normally where if you're doing a promotion with an influencer, they'll they'll leave the link. They'll put like shop here to shop the clothing range or something like that. So they'll leave that there. So when you first see the tweet, you're not going to think it's a paid promotion because you're not seeing any links. But when they go to the comment section to see what people are saying, that's normally when the page will pin the shop now. But that's basically how you want to come across. Although that doesn't look like a paid advert, it could be a paid advert. You don't know, they could be promoting that outfit that they're wearing on the right hand side. But that's what I'm trying to say when it comes across as not looking like a paid ad. Now, something else that works really, really well on Twitter is emojis. They tend to work really, really well. Now let's talk about video content. So if you're going to be giving these influencers videos that you want them to use to try and showcase your product, this is the best format to follow. So you're going to want to be finding your videos on TikTok for your products, because the way TikTok videos are designed is for them to really catch your eyes, and they're not professional looking. If you're very common with TikTok, they will get your attention, but they're not high quality videos. They're just ones that people can relate to. And that's what works really, really well on Twitter. Being professional on Twitter just doesn't work. So that's why TikTok video formats work really, really well. Now, if you can find a video of your product on TikTok, you want to make sure that you ask the person that made the video if you're allowed to use it, or if you can buy the video for commercial reuse. You don't just take it and use it. That is not going to help anybody. Now, if you can't do that, then you might want to order the product from Amazon, if you can find your product on Amazon, or order it from your supplier and take a video very similar to the ones that you find on TikTok, because again, those are the ones that work really, really well. You want to keep your videos very short and sweet. You want to keep them between 15 and 30 seconds, because on Twitter, short and sweet works so much better. Now, I'm going to be playing a video for you of a Twitter influencer video ad, so you guys get to understand what these videos look like and how you guys can design your own videos for influencers. So if you're going to be using picture content, these are the best practices. Find pictures on Pinterest or Instagram, because those types of imagery works really, really well. Now, you want to make sure that you ask the person that owns the imagery if you're allowed to use it for commercial reuse. If you can't, potentially buy it off them and offer them some money for commercial reuse, or order the product yourself and get it done yourself. That way, you know it's your content. Now, when I talk about the type of imagery that works well, as you guys can see here, I'm going to show you a couple of images. So for example, this image works really well. These kind of images work really, really well. So for example, let's say she's trying to promote these glasses here that she's wearing. That kind of image would work really, really well. Let's say she's trying to promote that lipstick. That kind of image would work really, really well. It's not professional, but it's very Instagram looking, aesthetically pleasing. Now, if you scroll down again, let's say they're trying to promote these balloons in the image. That kind of image would work really, really well. Again, let's say they're trying to promote those kids, those matching outfits. That kind of photo would work really, really well. It's not too serious, but it lets people know on the platform what it's going to look like, and that's the kind of aesthetic look that you need to go for when using Twitter content in photo. So I'm going to be showing you guys now a ad copy for what a Twitter influencer used to promote one of our products and how she formatted it for us. Now, when you write an ad copy, you want to keep it short and sweet, like I said, but when you send it to the influencer, they'll say, well, look, I think this would work better. So although you're sending them what you want them to put, they'll say, well, look, do it like this instead, and they'll rephrase it for you and just say, well, yeah, if that's what's going to work better, let them do it. So as you can see here, this influencer put, and again, this was a product for a self-stirring mug, basically a mug where you click a button and it'll stir itself. And you can see here, this influencer put, laugh my ass off. My boyfriend bought me this mug and it just made my life 10 times easier because I'm lazy. Those kind of ad copies work really, really well. Nothing too serious, a little bit fun, a little bit of humor work really, really well. Now let me talk a little bit about the influencer post strategy. So now you've got your influencers, now you've got your content. You basically want to contact the main influencers, which should be one person for now, and you want to basically arrange a time for them to post. And then what you want to do is you want to send them the content over, agree on it, send them the link that you want them to put in the thread of their post, basically shop now so-and-so to the link. And then what you want to do is you want to contact the other two small influencers, let them know the time that the main influencers agreed to basically post, send the two other influencers the link to the profile of the person that you're going to be using as the main influencer. That way they know where to go to retweet and they can get it done. Then once you've done that, you're all good to go and you're all scheduled in. So let me quickly show you what this would look like in real life. So you can see here on my screen, this is basically the main influencer. Dare Lust was the main influencer. Now if we scroll up, this person here, this person was the other small influencer. You can see they retweeted it. So this person tweeted it as the main influencer, this person retweeted it, and again, you want another one, so in total 2 people to retweet, 1 person to post. And again, the link to your, basically to your URL will be in the thread. So when they click on the post, it will say here, shop now. And again, that works better because it doesn't look as much as a promotion. Now let's talk about how to scale this strategy out so you can make as much money as possible. So let's say you get 100 retweets in 48 hours. Now it doesn't have to be 48 hours, it can actually be within 3 to 5 days, but me personally, I look at 48 hours because that to me is a very successful Twitter marketing campaign. So let's say you do get those 100 retweets in 48 hours, then you're looking to find another 3 to 5 influencers to retweet it. So once you've hit that benchmark, you're going to go back over again and look for another 3 to 5 influencers to basically retweet the main tweet. So then that's how you can scale again. And then the next way of scaling is basically if you hit 200 retweets in 7 days, you want to look for another mega influencer to retweet it. So now again, the side influencers that retweet the main post, this time you're going to be looking for another big influencer to potentially post something similar on theirs, or to get them to actually retweet the main tweet post. And if you want to know how to scale from there, you just do the exact same thing again, and you just compound interest again and again and again, and you just wait till it dies out slowly. Now if it dies out, you take whatever profit you've made, or if you've made a small loss, you just cut it there and you move on to the next one. If you carry on pursuing, just keep going, and eventually, without me having to say it, it will die out eventually. And some people will make a lot of money, some people will make a small amount of money, some people might lose a bit of money, but you've just got to keep going through the process to find something that works really, really well. So if you've enjoyed that untapped Twitter influencer marketing strategy, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you smash the like button, and I'll be catching you guys in the next video.